October 10th, 2007, when the taxi rolled up to the main entrance of the Renaissance Hotel in Denver, Colorado. After paying off the cabbie, I entered the hotel lobby, where the first thing that greeted my eyes was a table festooned with a red, white, and blue banner proclaiming Alamo Scouts Association. I smiled. I'd arrived. A little over a year earlier, I'd been somewhat in the same shoes as the police officer who responded to the mugging. Like her, and many other Americans, I knew little or nothing about the Alamo Scouts. I'd come across their name once or twice over the years in the course of my reading, but wasn't really aware of who they were and what they'd done. Now, I'd traveled nearly 2,000 miles to meet them and get their stories down on tape, for they were to be the subject of my next book. After the release of Biggest Brother, an account of the famed World War II paratrooper Dick Winters in 2005, I wasn't sure there'd be a next book. I hadn't written Biggest Brother as a means of securing a second career as an author. Instead, I'd done it as a tribute to the life of a man whose story I felt Americans needed to know. However, after a while, my passion as a writer began to get the best of me, and I sought a subject for a second book, fueled perhaps by the many emails and phone calls from readers who enjoyed not just Biggest Brother, but my style of storytelling, and encouraged me to write again. So how could I not? Besides, I've had a lifelong fascination with books and had dreamed of being an author ever since I was 12 years old and my grandparents bought me my first typewriter. So I began searching for a topic that, if not new and untouched, had at least not been plowed over in countless previous books. That's how I stumbled across the Alamo Scouts website. This site, at www.alamoscouts.org, contains a wealth of information on the unit and includes photos and personal stories, and the more I read, the more I was in awe of these men and their deeds. The site led me to the only book devoted to the unit, Silent Warriors of World War II, The Alamo Scouts Behind the Japanese Lines, by Lance Q. Zedrick, published in 1995. Zedrick had begun the book as a college thesis, and had the good fortune to link up with the surviving Scouts and preserve many of their stories. After looking over the website and the book, I contacted Russ Blaze, the executive director of the Alamo Scouts Association and the son of the late William F. Blaze, a scout with the Sumner team. Russ was more than agreeable to the idea of a new book about his father's unit, and with his valuable assistance and the support of Zedrick, who's now the Alamo Scouts official historian, I was off and running. With Russ's invaluable help, I began making contact with surviving Alamo Scouts, conducting both telephone and face-to-face interviews and obtaining much-needed documents and notes. The work went smoothly, not just in putting together the story of the Scouts, but in finding the trivia and detail I needed to help bring those stories to life. But something was missing, and it proved to be the personal touch. I needed to actually meet some of these men. Getting together with Jack Geiger of the Lutz team proved easy. He lives in New Jersey, and we were able to meet personally on 2 occasions, and his assistance proved vital in putting together the story of his team and its men. But I needed more of that one-on-one, which is what drew me to Denver to attend the Alamo Scouts reunion and meet the men I'd been researching and reading about for the past year. The Alamo Scouts were conceived by Major General Walter Krieger in late 1943 in response to a desire by his commander, General Douglas MacArthur, for a reliable reconnaissance unit whose information he could depend on for its accuracy. Suspicious and vain, MacArthur distrusted the Office of Strategic Services for his intelligence because of the OSS's close ties to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, whom MacArthur viewed with extreme